Demolition Racer No Exit was made in 2000 by Pitbull Syndicate for the Sega Dreamcast and was released exclusively in North America. No Exit is the upgraded version of a game which was released a year prior for the Sony PlayStation and PC. This review will just briefly talk about the main game and instead will focus on the bonus game Big Car Hunter, which was an unlockable extra. Demolition Racer No Exit is a racing game in which the final placing is not the most important thing. Instead, it just affects a factor which is then multiplied with the points which were gained during the race. Points are yielded by actions such as crashing into competing cars or by turning them around. Besides the races, demolition derby competitions are held. The game has no story at all and plays very arcadey. There are two main modes, single race and a league. The league is the place where tracks, cars, modes and extras are unlocked. One of these extras is a light gun game called Big Car Hunter. It is unlocked by completing City in the league. Alternatively, the player may cheat to unlock the game by pressing left, right, X, right, X, Y at the menu screen. Big Car Hunter can be played using a gun controller connected to port D. The game is compatible with the Dreamcast gun, which is curious, as this gun was softlocked to be incompatible for many North American games after the Columbine High School massacre incident. There is no calibration routine in the game, but luckily, if I use a Dreamcast gun at my particular PVM, I have no offset at all. When using a Mad Catz Dream Blaster instead, I experience a notable offset. 3 degrees of difficulty are selectable. Hard is indeed quite difficult. I can't beat this mode without a full automatic gun controller. In the game, the player parks in the middle of a demolition derby arena while cars are approaching from 3 directions. These cars head towards the player and attempt to collide. The hostile cars arrive in waves. After each wave, the player changes the orientation of their own car in order to face the next set of cars. The waves are getting more and more frantic the further the player progresses. Eventually, the game ends and presents the player with a score screen. If the cars are shot, they explode, but often they keep their trajectory for some time and remain a threat to the player. If the player gets hit, the life counter depletes and the windshield gradually cracks. Car wrecks can obstruct the path between the player and the approaching cars and therefore can act as a shield. But the wrecks can be dangerous too, as sometimes they are propelled against the player upon colliding with a car. Big Car Hunter is very simple, but I enjoyed it a lot. It is challenging, but controls well enough to feel quite rewarding. I like the background music very much. It is a kind of electronica, which I would describe as a love child of Big Beat and Acid House. By looking at the other extra games, it becomes clear that the people at Pitbull Syndicate are tremendous video game enthusiasts themselves. One game is a variant of Pong, in which the metal ball hurts the car upon impact. Another game is clearly inspired by the Worms series. The player controls a car throwing trebuchet by adjusting the angle and the tension. I like the cover a lot. It shows how a car is approaching another car from above, which is one of the 2 insta-kill mechanics inside the game. I imagine people were irritated when they read on the back of the game that it is light gun compatible, albeit being a racing game. This is the end of the review. My name is Ben. I thank you for viewing.